Sometimes I'm feeling fancy and will carry this, and on other days, it's just baggy gray sweats and hoodie kind of day, paired with my nail clipper multi-tool. So let's check it out. We're covering 3 styles today: a casual everyday collection, then a functional set when I need to get stuff done, and finally a fancy one for the 2 parties I attend every year. Starting off with my favorite, and thanks to Huckberry for sending out some new Spanx. The casual collection is generally what I would wear and carry with me to work, the mall, or to just sit in the park. This iron and resin Tatham duck canvas overall is a must, because overalls are just underrated, and I don't think that's fair. Because for the pocket hoarders out there, they know overalls are the end game. Slots and pockets for everything, like this tool sleeve for our daily of choice, the new Knafs Landeriimote, which is designed after, well, a Wii remote. The graphics are on point and double-sided too, plus the wrist strap is iconic, because RIP to the TVs that 1v1 the Wii remotes and lost. The blade itself is their Lander 3 model, which is already a workhorse for the size, sharp, comfortable, and pocketable, yet can still make arts and crafts time a breeze. It does come in their Lander 2 series for the larger hands too, and sure, the lanyard does make it a little messy to carry, but you're not buying this for practicality. You simply need that one person to walk by and ask, wait, is that and then break out in a full nerd session about whether Metroid or Falcon would win in a real world fight. Hidden in a button pocket, unfortunately a pretty hard one to find, but will definitely be the coolest thing you own: a Zippo watch. Yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like, a watch stuffed inside a Zippo case. It's just as addictive to play with, except way less dangerous flicking it open in public, and it's nothing fancy, although it is made of metal though, and it has a secret that we found while filming: a compartment hidden underneath. Perfect for your special mints you need to hide from your kids. The best part, the insert is the exact same size of an actual Zippo, so you could swap it into different cases depending on how useful you want to feel that day. Speaking of which, Zippo inserts are surprisingly more useful than you think, because they actually have an official multi-tool version. It's not the most ergonomic, but in a pinch, it can make you look pretty useful, even if just for a moment in time. It can hold standard magnetic bits and are magnetically attached too, but my favorite insert has to go to the dual torch, because who doesn't love carrying around a tiny flamethrower? Next up, I do carry my iPhone on the daily, but also this tiny phone-sized e-reader, which is perfect only for reading and consuming content. The BOOX Palma 2 is updated with slightly better hardware and a fingerprint reader, but you still get that black and white e-ink screen that you could use for regular apps, but would totally suck to do so, because where it really shines is text, reading books, and since no other apps are worth opening, it's actually pretty distraction free too. It's the perfect size to bring with me while waiting for the bus, eating lunch alone, or just sitting at the park. Now, when it gets a little chilly, keeping your hands toasty is a must, and I didn't think you could make a pair of gloves just better. But Vessi somehow found a way with their forecast gloves. The waterproofing alone, which is usually found on more expensive gloves, is worth it to not have to worry about shriveled fingers anymore, a true blessing in this day and age. Plus, the insulated liner makes these the perfect gloves for the fall season. It's right when you're not drowning in snow just yet, but still want to stay toasty outside. Add in those rubber palm grips and you basically forget you're even wearing them, as you're still able to scroll your phone, carry and grip objects without them slipping, and even handle smaller items thanks to the thinner design, giving your fingers plenty of flexibility, which really just means you no longer have to give up these simple pleasures anymore just because it's a little wet outside. To top it off, my new favorite hat that I randomly bought, the Arc'teryx 5-panel Gore-Tex cap. It's thin, waterproof, yet still holds its structure. Made of a nylon-like Gore-Tex fabric, it's extremely lightweight while feeling like it can handle being tossed around, sat on, and stuffed in a pocket. That's mainly thanks to the sealed seams versus being stitched, which actually makes it perfect for any condition outdoors. While you are paying a pretty penny for the brand, they do care about the details, like the overkill rubber coating at the end of the strap for better grip and also preventing it from flopping around. It's got a perfect fit around my abnormally large head, and while the rim is pretty thin, it always holds its shape, which is important because taking this off, I can stuff it into any pocket without worrying about anything breaking or it feeling like another huge bulge in my pants. To finish this collection, I have to mention the hoodie underneath, simply for how comfortable it is. The Flint and Tinder Midweight Terry hoodie is the perfect fall and winter essential. It's not too hot, yet warm enough to layer in, and the stiff material and ribbed cuffs makes for a hoodie I'll wear daily and may or may not forget to actually wash. This next collection is for when I know I need to be useful outside. I rock my favorite vest from Nanga, a popular brand in Japan, so it's pretty hype that Huckberry carries them too. Soft, cushiony, and down-filled for warmth. Waterproof zippers everywhere with fleece-lined pockets. Simple, warm, and the all-black finish is a no-brainer. Layered under that is the District Vision waterproof mountain jacket. Surprisingly thin for how durable it actually feels. Perfect as an underlayer, and these thick rubber cuffs are no joke. But my favorite? Well, bam. If you sweat as much as I do, you understand how clutch this is. Plus, it actually looks really sleek too. Now, stored inside the front pocket is a tiny multi-tool from Victorinox. Not my usual go-to tool brand, but their nail clip 580 is the tool I use the most. It doesn't store a lot of tools, but the ones that it does have is used on the daily. Obviously, the star of the show being the nail clipper, which it being stored inside this tiny body is already extraordinary enough, paired with the tiny scissors for those damn loose threads, a tiny blade for all the Amazon packages, and a file that also doubles as a pointy tool, both of which can be used for various applications. I know, you probably wish they had tweezers and a toothpick too. Fret not, they thought of it all, so you don't have to. Staying juiced up is key, and the Anker 3-in-1 is no stranger to this channel, so we had to pick it again simply for this. The built-in cable, which means there's one less thing to carry, and it's a fairly durable one too. You plug it in and have it hang right off your hand. Then when you're done, wha-bam. It slides right back into itself, simply becoming a carry cable. The best part though is how shareable this is. If your one and only friend needed a boost, they could piggyback either off the USB-C or USB-A port. With 10,000 milliamps of battery, you've got plenty of juice to go around. There's also a built-in screen, which quite literally is built inside. And given its fairly small size, a must carry when I'm out and about. Wallets generally do one thing, carry your cash and cards. But we needed something that could do more for this functional collection, and that's where Dango comes in with their M1 series, because they've got this, an integrated multi-tool, the MT-04. Even the names sound freaking cool. Oh, and when I say multi, I mean multi. Sharp edges to cut, but also doubling as pry bars, and there's even a usable saw on the opposite end. All that packed into just about the thickness of 2 cards, with plenty more features you'll probably rarely use, but it's good to know you can. When done, the M1 has built-in cutouts to lock the tool in place while still designed to be easily accessible, but more importantly, it safely stores it away even when tucked into a pocket. The giant elastic can hold an additional 3 cards comfortably, as you're going to want to also pair it with the RFID blocking plate in front of all of that, and around back, it's lined in their D-Tex material, which basically feels like a really tough leather, fitting a single card, perfect for an ID, transit card, or building pass to quickly tap and go. There are multiple mounting points to accessorize further too, but when all said and done, packed into a metal case that's no thicker than an iPhone. And yeah, this thing can take a beating. Look, I love a clean looking matte green as much as the next guy, but these battle scars almost make the wallet what it is. Don't worry though, there is a blackout option too. Now to complete the military look, a belt may be the last thing you think about when deciding what to take with us, and that's the point. Once you find a good one, there's no need for any others. So Dango's Spec-Ops belt is a no-brainer for anyone that just wants one to last a lifetime. 1.5 inches of thick ballistic nylon webbing, Cobra buckles, which is super overkill, but oh so necessary to hold my belly in place. Seriously, it ain't popping open unless you want it to, and want you will, because it's also really fun to fidget with too. It's just minimal, clean, and comes in multiple colorways as well. So if you want gear that will last, links and details down below. Finishing the functional collection off, the SHokz OpenSwim bone conduction earphones are the perfect earphones for commuting, except they're designed for swimming, mainly because they're completely waterproof, so it doesn't have to rely on your phone to play, but that also makes it perfect if you sweat or just have a weird desire to shower with your headphones on. The bone conduction is clutch, so you can hear everything around you while commuting. Perfect so you can stay alert when someone's screaming and shouting while on the subway. Now, I don't get to wear the fancy collection often, but when I do, oh boy, do I wear the heck out of it. Starting with the Xsuit. For anyone that sucks at holding anything, this suit is water resistant, stretchy so you don't feel claustrophobic in it, and the belt ratchets to lock so you can quickly loosen up after that 4th plate at the buffet. Thankfully, it's also got pockets galore. Starting with the zippered inside pockets, my wallet of choice is something no one should buy themselves and only ask for from Santa, the Louis Vuitton pocket organizer, paired with the Saint Laurent money clip, which, to be completely fair, may just be my dream blackout bougie combo. But as you can see, I'm terrible with my gear no matter how much they cost. Without butchering the name, this pocket organizer is the Millesimi calf leather, which is double the cost of the other models, but oh so worth it if you could actually feel it in your hand. Yes, you are paying a hefty LV tax for the name, but the craftsmanship shocked me too. The design itself is organized pretty well, but it's so nice that I'm actually afraid of stuffing every pocket. I can comfortably store 6 cards, but it could go up to 8 or 10 if you're feeling really adventurous. But just holding this in the hand is honestly what convinced me to pay iPhone level money for it. Now, the money clip in general is a pretty big flex. The fact this simply has Saint Laurent engraved into the metal and can charge hundreds for it is another level of flex. Will anyone ever see it? Probably not, but will I know I've got the coolest blackout money clip ever? Yeah. And so will my credit card. I don't usually carry cash, but having it separate from your wallet so it doesn't bulge out even more is the fancy thing to do. And you could also just double it as a wallet itself, given you probably won't be able to afford one after buying it anyways. There's just something about how simple and clean this looks that I had to get it, and will probably not tell a single soul how much I actually spent on it. In the pocket underneath, the Teenage Engineering TP7 field recorder. It's a super overkill and exorbitantly expensive audio recorder, and I love every bit of it. The buttons, spinning disc, side rocker, and physical ports. Teenage Engineering just knows how to make you feel things with their physical products. And there's something so satisfying about clicking each button and hearing it respond back. The opposite side is lined in an orange leather because why the heck not? And look, I get it.
It's definitely overkill, but come on, how cool is this?
Teenage Engineering knows their audio, but they also know how to design even more, which is what suckered me into spending over $1,000 on this. But it's one of those products, if you stare at long enough, you end up just saying, screw it, I need this in my life. Even if it's just to get to play with actual physical buttons again, it's so freaking worth it. Now, the AirPod Pros are pretty pricey already, but to completely black them out with ColorWare is basically double the cost. And also double the fun, because I personally do not know anyone else that has matte black AirPods that look like the real deal. It's not just a simple paint job, they really stick this stuff on and it becomes one with the AirPods. Now, the matte finish does show some grease if you have butterfingers, but I've beaten these up quite a bit without any issues to the finish so far. Now, one day it probably will, but for now, just seeing it paired with the phone and watch blackout combo is totally worth it. A subtle flex to stand out from the other Apple sheep, and yes, it does come in a wide range of colors too. There's a direct correlation to being fancy and caring less. And that's exactly what using the Arc Pulse iPhone case feels like, because it's not the most protective, it doesn't add any grip, but aesthetically is totally a vibe. 2 metal shards wrapped around the top and bottom of your phone, leaving the rest of it exposed. There isn't really a bigger flex outside of just running naked without a case at all. Sure, functionally, it does add a raised lip on both sides. It keeps your camera from scratching on tables all day and adds some thick shoulders for daily use, but this case is first and foremost a looker. It feels like you're holding a naked iPhone with a little bit of attitude. This would literally be the definition of form over function, and sometimes that's just the trade-off you make when you're balling out. Lastly, I couldn't pretend to be fancy pants without showing off the wrist. Rocking this collection with the Omega Speedmaster, my first luxury gift to myself for hitting 1 million subscribers, and the Sapphire model with the glass back that I never actually see. It's simple, elegant, and can be worn for any occasion. But while I love my Speedy to death, it's the third-party strap I swapped in that matters more. From Artem Straps, this is their sailcloth strap, which is a fancy way of saying nylon, which is obviously in the matching black stitching too. I went with the quick release spring bar, but more importantly, the loopless deployment clasp, which means no more having to find the right hole every single time. You simply click and well, bam, it's plush, holds its shape, and just looks like it punches way above its class. So much so, I pair it with my cheaper watches, and it somehow makes them instantly feel luxurious too. God damn. Comment down below what we should do next. Whiteout EDC or tiny EDC? But that's it. I rest my fancy EDC.